G'day everyone. Teamlist Tuesday, all things Bulldogs. How's it going, everyone? Didn't give any notice that I was jumping on today, but we're just going to go over the team, and I'll have a quick discussion about this talk about getting rid of the kickoff. So I can't stream it on the app at the moment, so I'm just going to have a look at who's in and who's out. So backline is unchanged, 1 through to 7. Connor Tracy, Jacob Kiraz, Bronson Cherry, Stephen Crichton and Josh Addo-Carr, Matt Burton and Drew Hutchison. The forward pack, the prop forwards, Max King, Reid Marnie at hooker, Josh Curran named at prop, Kickow and Salmon on the edge, and Kurt Mann named at lock. Interesting. Interchange, Bailey Haywood, Samuel Hughes, Curtis Moran and Blake Taff. So there you go. The reserves bench, Blake Wilson at 19, obviously back from his pneumonia. Poasa Fa'amasili, Toby Sexton, Jacob Preston named at number 22, and Jake Turpin at number 23. So Kurt Mann is back. He is named at lock, Curran in the front row, Salmon named at second row, and we have Jacob Preston named. So obviously he'll have to pass a fitness test. I would expect that he's going to come in, say hello. We're not going to go very long today, just a quick one. I can't show the team list up there at the moment, so I'm just having a look at it now. You should be able to see it on your phones and stuff. But a nice team named. Curran at prop with King, Kurt Mann at lock. Salmon stays in the back row. If Preston comes in, you'll expect that we will see Bailey Haywood drop out of the 17, and taking that place there will be Jacob Preston. And then it's a case of who they move back to the interchange bench. They might move Kurt Mann back to the bench, drop Salmon into lock, and then put Preston to start, or they may even start Preston from the bench just because he's coming back from injury. But that is Kurt Mann as well, which is really good. The Tigers side, they've got a few ins this week. Jerome Buller's at fullback, Charlie Staines, Brent Naden, Justin Olam, Solomon Amalo, don't know anything about him, Alain Malo, Lockie Galvin at 5'8", Aiden Caesar at half, Stefano Atikamanu, David Clemmer in the front row, very formidable pack. Happy Coruscant had an injury concern, but apparently will be okay. Isaiah Papali'i, Samuela Fainu, who's now starting, the young fella from Manly. John Bateman goes to lock, so they've got a very tough pack with a lot of strike, a lot of size. Latu Fainu as number 14, Alex Twal, Alex Seyfarth, who's had a really good season. And both of those players were linked to the Dogs in the off-season. And Fanua Pole is the 17. Their extended bench, Jake Simpkins, Stafford Toa, who may play. Astu Kapoa, Alex Lobb, and Solomona Fatape is the number 22. So there you go, guys. Happy with our side. Whoever they put in is going to do the job. That's one of the good things about our team at the moment. They're all stepping up. There's good competition for spots, which I think is helping us out a lot. Say hello if you wish to, guys. I don't know what questions you've got. So they're going along with what seems that small bench yet again, a bench that can play long minutes and handle sort of any adversity should things happen, which is a good idea. It seems to be going well. The way if it's working, don't change it. We've still only had 3 wins, 4 losses, should have won 5 or 6 games. Said that a number of times. But, look, I'm expecting that Preston will play if he's named on that extended bench, and I'd expect that Bailey Haywood would be the one that makes way, just for the balance of the squad. Based on what Serrato's been saying he wants Blake Taff in that best 17. G'day to everyone who's just joined. Won't be a long one today, just a quick one. We might do another preview later in the week if I get a chance. Still moving house and stuff. I'm expecting a tight game of rugby league in the afternoon. Expect that the fatigue will take place at some point. They've got a bigger pack, and they've got but it's a workmanlike pack as well. I felt they've been solid the last 2 weeks, the Tigers, against probably the best two sides in the competition, in the Panthers and the Broncos. Last year's grand finalists. They're going to put it together slowly. They're going to beat teams, and they'll be up for this game, no doubt about it. The Bulldogs, in what they've demonstrated, if we can hold possession, we definitely have the talent and the speed out wide. The centre battle looks really, really good. Crichton on Naden. I think it's actually it'll be Cherry on Naden, I think. I can't remember what side Olam's playing. And with the numberings, they always mix it all up, so it's hard to tell. But some good players in both sides. I do think, though, we've got the edge in the back line, and our forward pack are doing a really good job at keeping shit together. So Dogs by about 10 points. Looks good enough to me. I'd be interesting to see how it goes. Casey Badger gets to referee the game. Casey's been pretty, letting the games flow a fair bit. She's got two teams which haven't been, who have been down the bottom of the ladder, so there should be no excuses as to who gets the rub of the green. It is our home game. Tigers haven't won at a core in a long time. Jared Sutton's the senior review official, and he can come up with some pretty weird shit at times, so we'll see what he does. Hopefully Canterbury can get the win. I just get nervous about these games because we're expected to win. We're going to start favourites. We're currently $1.40. The Tigers $2.96. If you're a diehard Tigers fan, you're loving those odds. I can tell you that much. I think the odds should be a little bit closer, but anyway, I think Canterbury have done a really good job this season in the face of a lot of adversity already, and we have a lot of talent in our side, and it's only going to get better and better. That's a scary thing for the opposition. Dan, hey, I'll get this up there. Hey, mate, loving the squad this week, especially if Preston is in. Banning the kickoff, what's next? The game will be unrecognisable in 5 to 10 years. Well, that's a good segue into that, Dan. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. I agree 100% with James Graham. And I can tell you now, I don't know if the NRL's behind this. I don't know if the NRL's giving the media some sort of speculation, but let's look at this for what it is. Whether the media organisation's talking about this, it's not so much ego that they want to be sort of behind the change of the rules. It's about having division in thought. And the media themselves, the mainstream, the journalists are taking the side of the game can't handle seeing someone get knocked out in the first play of the game, which I think is bullshit. I'm sorry, no one likes seeing their kids go through that, whether their kids are 30 or 13. I get that. I've watched little kids get knocked out in young junior footy, and it's not nice. But this is the game. It's the game. And I just think that what the media are doing is just having this division there because it's selling ad space. It's creating so much interest. All the radio stations are going off their heads. There's so much text coming through, people calling up on all the different radio stations that talk football, all having their say. It's all happening around it. So this is getting more views, more interest, more clicks on the stories, the newspaper articles that go with it, the discussions on NRL 360. It's great for views. It's when you got a divisive subject like this, And I don't know if the NRL wants to introduce this and they're sort of incentivizing the media to push it, because the ex-players, I've probably only seen one or two ex-players that are sort of for this. The vast majority of people who have played the game and people who have supported the game for a long time know that the kickoff, especially State of Origin, the kickoff to me is like the ultimate. When you do a kickoff, right? If your guy gets a first hit up and makes that 20-metre line, your team is on, and the other team's usually 1% off. It happens so often that a team that comes out and is able to win that first exchange, whether it's the first hit up guy or whether it's the team defending on that first clash, it just gives you that feeling of how the game's going to go straight away. It doesn't always pan out like that. Some teams come out fired up and hit hard and really sort of do well for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then they run out of puff and the other side sort of just breaks them down and class wins and whatever else. But, you watch that first set in Origin, it's all about the kickoff. Ray Warren say, "It's on, State of Origin." Just after Phil Gould's done his discussion, whether you like him or hate him, I used to fucking love listening to that. Wish it was there, but had to have the right music in the background. And then that first collision, it's everything. It's everything. And there's been people getting knocked out from those collisions forever, right? I understand people are getting bigger, people are getting stronger, people are getting tougher. But it does not mean that we can't have this in the game. As James Graham said, you can't stop these accidents. You can work on the techniques to try and improve them. You can work on all sorts of things, but this game isn't a safe game. And if you want to play rugby league, they've got rid of the scrums. They got rid of the shoulder charge. Now, for me, I reckon the shoulder charge should be allowed for a fullback or someone trying to put someone in the sideline. I agree with Phil Gould on that. Should be allowed. But what it should be, if you go for a shoulder charge and get it wrong, it's an automatic 8 weeks. That's, you bring in much bigger consequences for when things go wrong. And, when there's intent there to do a certain action. But it's actually safer for a fullback to do a shoulder charge to bump someone into touch than it is to try and go low and tackle them. Like, I agree with Phil Gould on that 100%. So there's so many things that they're trying to do, and the lawyers are just licking their fucking lips, and that's what pisses me off. The litigation movement. The lawyers are the ones who will make all the money out of this. I think what there needs to be is that the NRL says, we educate everyone on all the risks. If you sign up to play an NRL contract, this is what you are likely to suffer from collisions, and get the waivers, and to make sure that they do everything they can in their power to show that they're doing the best thing they can to make it safe. But you're not going to get safety in rugby league, and it doesn't matter if they reduce the running off the back fence like they think they're going to. If they do a kickoff and reduce their collision impact by 10 or 20 metres, all it'll do is people will just try and hit harder. They'll work harder at running faster over that shorter period of time, and the impact and collision will still be there. The idea is the same in rugby league, to hurt the opposition. There's nothing safe about getting your fucking shoulder in there and trying to jam it into someone's sternum. I had someone fucking rip into I couldn't breathe for about fucking 2 minutes. I was giving a bit of lip, thought I'd run it hard at someone. I didn't run it hard again for the next fucking 5 matches. I got smashed that hard, but because that was the risk you took, and that was the difference between the fellas who were good at rugby league, who take on that risk every time they run the fucking ball. I just think this is a joke, and I think the media are being incentivised by their own bosses to be divisive about it. I have no doubt that even James Graham and Braithen Astor and Bulldog Richie and Buzz sat in the room before the game saying, we're going to go head-to-head on this. What's your thoughts? All right, so you want to change it? Okay, well, we want to keep it. Let's go hard. It'll bring in views. It'll create discussion. You know, there's nothing really authentic about media at all. It's like watching these fucking reality shows. They're all, doctored. They're all, then there's nothing real about them. And it's the same with a lot of media in these shows. Sometimes it goes on a bit of a tangent, and sometimes they will ambush someone on the show and have a real crack at them, and because they know they're not going to be ready for it and it's going to be good TV. But for the most part, they love having division. And I've seen a lot of times where it's three people on one, and they have someone who they swap around who's going to be the devil's advocate and who's going to be all against them on the show. It's the same reason. Oh, I don't know if you can hear in the background, my little puppies having a dream. Roxy. I'll just leave her. She's running around somewhere in Dreamland. But yeah, guys, look, I know what your thoughts are on that. Feel free to leave them in the comments. If you don't have to, no one has to agree, if you get one of these concussion injuries or you get your neck broken or whatever it is, and you've got a family member that's happened to and they've lost, the game of rugby league and elite sport can do lots of things to people. It can fuck with their brains for life. You've got people who realise that they've put their whole life into making it in rugby league and they can't get past reserve grade, for example, or they can't get past jersey flag. And all their hopes and dreams have gone up in ashes, and suddenly they're a head case and they don't know what they're going to do. And they have a head injury in their brain. And that's caused from the rugby league. Like, this elite sport, they're paid well because they provide entertainment and they do things which hurt. We want to see people hurt each other. That's why we watch it. It's not all about the skill. The best games are when they build each other into oblivion. We love, Blocker's best big hits we used to see on the footy show, and the Chief had his segment and you'd see all the best big hits from the weekend. That's the shit we love. You can't take that away. The main collision is that first kickoff. No, if there's going to be an accident, look, the first kickoff of each half are the most dangerous because that's when people are at their freshest. The other kickoffs are never as bad. Often you'll see the team that's if they're winning and they're getting repeat kickoffs, they're making more ground off every fucking hit up because the defence is getting tired. But the defence is at its best in that first hit up, see, and especially with the first hit up of the game. And that just and that's what they're worried about. But for me, it's just that's the risk, and they just need to sign waivers. There needs to be waivers signed that are cited and approved by the courts and approved by everyone. That if you go out there and something goes wrong, you could be penalised and you can lose your pay even. Like, they need to bring stuff like that out. If you're going to go out there and be a thug and deliberately smash someone's face in, you may lose pay because if you get suspended as well. They could bring stuff like that in, so people think twice about it and they get their technique right. There'll still be accidents, but if it's proven that you intentionally tried to take someone's head off, you forgo your pay, PH, how you going? Controversy is created to generate views. It's beginning to look like a contrived Hollywood reality to TV show. The couch coaches are the ones that pounce on these hot takes but have never taken a hit up. Yeah, you summed it up better than I could. It took me about 20 minutes to make that point. 100%. So that's why I do the NRL Media Watch. Thanks for your contribution, mate. Yeah, really not happy with the way they go about it. It's all division is what sells, and that's the agenda. It's what gets the views. It's what gets everyone talking. And the amount of time people are talking about stuff which, has actually no. All day today they've been talking about the board meeting of Jason Demetrio, and the length of time it went was going to determine whether he would be sacked or kept. A board meeting is never just about the coach. A board meeting covers off a heap of shit. I've heard what goes on in these board meetings. I've been told directly what goes on from various clubs, and they're not just there all fucking day to decide whether they should keep the coach or not for hours and hours, and like it's some courtroom drama. There's a whole heaps of shit they got to ratify and discuss and put forward. Yet all day it's been, we'll cross to this person, Jaleesa Apps. Oh my God. I've never heard so much bullshit in my life. Like, it looks like he'll be staying because normally these things are done and dusted if they're going to get rid of the coach. Wouldn't matter. They could come out at the end and say we didn't even talk about the coach today. That'll be talked about in a few weeks. Or we talk about the coach every board meeting. We talk about everything. It's just bullshit. Anyway. Best rule in 20. So what's that, Ross? How you going, mate? The best rule in the 20. So what do you mean? You catch it in your own 20? I don't get it. But if you can expand on that, brother, I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate that as if you could, or put a comment in later, because I won't be staying for too long. Anyone else got anything else on there? And have a look at the team again. You've all seen the team? You're happy with the team? Dan's happy with the team? I think we can beat this side. I think we can outwork them, out effort them. I believe that they worked their ass off in the last two matches, the Tigers, and still struggled to stay within 20 points of both teams. And they'll improve with cohesion, just like we will. But I just feel that we're doing things a little bit more easily than them. So I'd be backing the Dogs. Even though Sutton is the video ref. So expect my prediction, which I think a lot of people would probably predict as well. Jacob Preston will come into the side. Salmon will move to lock or to bench. And Bailey Haywood will drop out. If Bailey doesn't drop out, it might be because Kurt Mann's hand's not right, 100% right, but we'll see. And Casey Badger gets to do it. What's some other stuff that's been going on? So congratulations to our Lisa Fiola Cup side. They won on the weekend, undefeated all season. Under 17 girls had a fantastic season. Congratulations, well done. Mitch Woods was named the SG Ball Player of the Year, and in our team's lost to the Dragons. Now, if you put the form side by side of both sides, the Dragons are smashing every team in the comp for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and their forwards were just too good for ours at the end of the day, and gave them the perfect platform. But that doesn't, at that level, the bigger sides tend to dominate. They were just a bit faster. I felt their halves did well off the back of their platform. I felt that our halves tried their hardest, and we had some really good contributors, and there's definitely from both sides future NRL players there. I reckon you'll see 4 or 5 players, maybe more, from both sides play NRL. Seve, out of our side, has been in that SG Ball team a couple of years. He will likely play flag next year, and Gus confirmed he's on a development contract for next year. I think he's got a brother as well, who might be in the development squad next year as well. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Our Ron Massey Cup team had a win for the first time last week. So I think they've lost 3 games and won 1. Jordan Samrani was in that side, Khaled Rajeb, the phone booth, Isaac Madaleva Booth, come off the bench. So he's getting ready to go now. He's getting some fitness back. So expect to see him move into Flag or New South Wales Cup at some point this season, which is fantastic. Mamasia, the new guy, Jaral, I think Mamasia, was playing. He's already had a couple of tastes of New South Wales Cup as well. We're going well in all grades. I think we've got a game to make up in Jersey Flag. So we're sitting third, but, there was a game that was abandoned when we had those floods at Belmore. So they're doing real well. New South Wales Cup's warming up nicely. 2 pretty good performances the last couple of weeks. And we need to see that continue, and we'll see what happens with the rest of it. But I'm just going to see if the New South Wales Cup side is out yet. Because that will often give us a little insight into who's actually going to play this week. So we play the Western Suburbs Magpies. Team list has not been announced yet. So that'll be interesting. Interesting to see, but Liam Knight wasn't named on our extended bench. I thought he might have been, but he still had a pretty good game in his last game. So he's got to keep working to try and get himself an opportunity in first grade. There's just so much competition there at the moment. No wonder a player like Harrison Edwards thought he would leave the club to get an opportunity. Sorry about this, guys. So, yes. So Chris Patalo's out for about 7 or 8 weeks, from what I was told. Is what it said on with Gus. He's got to have he's had that surgery for MCL. And yes, it's getting harder to name this side, and that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. But anyway, guys, not much chat coming through here today, which is understandable. I'll get on at another point in the not too distant future. I'm looking forward to the 3 o'clock game on Saturday. Looking forward to all the junior games as well. Anything you want to say after watching this, put it in the comments, like and subscribe and all that bullshit. And yeah, suggest what you think regarding the kickoff. I think it's something I don't know if the NRL is actually interested in talking about this, if they're behind this push, or if it's just the media cashing in on a very divisive subject. Even though I reckon 90% of people or more don't want to change the kickoff, the media are making sure that they're keeping that opposition up to. It's rugby league. The collision from a kickoff is rugby league, so I can't see why they would want to change it. Anyway, have a good one. It's only Tuesday. Can't wait for Saturday. We've got to beat the Tigers. We've got to keep this going. Loving the way the team's been playing, and hopefully the bye's done the world of good and they come out and smash the Tigers. Go the Dogs.